Hey, peoples. And June, thanks for the member for 31 months. Feels like forever. Yeah. When we skip a week, it's a 2 week gap. And then Kelly is not feeling well today because she picked up a bug when she was traveling last week. So it's just me. And I feel like it's been forever since I have done a stream like this where it's just me. uh, Sitting in front of the camera rather than like doing the solo water change stream or something where I'm actually doing something and not, hyper aware of like myself right here on the screen. Like that's all I see right now is the chat and my face in large mode because there's not a guest to like cut the image down by to a quarter of the size. So yeah, fun stuff. And I don't know what we're going to talk about. Probably plants, but I mean, what's going on in the plant world? Anything new? I think we still have our same plants and they're growing hopefully. Although I did see on Facebook planted tank quick auctions. Let me see if I can pull that up. Tissue culture for a crypt that I'd never heard of. So I'll check that out. I mean, not a tissue culture for did I say crypt plant? I don't know. No one to tell me what I've said. So, uh, planted tank, quick auctions, a TV crypt. Okay. And of course, I'm gonna have to scroll forever. You know what? Let's all scroll together, cause there's some cool shit on here, right? So let me share. Feels weird not wearing headphones. I can hear my computer ramping up. Okay. Lee May. Always got some good stuff. Coral moss slash mini pelia. Very nice. Hemisoplenium. Dark spleen wort. Kind of looks like a bulbitis or some kind of fern. Largest frond straightens to 10 inches. Immersed grown. Interesting. I don't know what it looks like if it was submersed. See what's going on in chat. Comes from Netherlands. Why is Zachary not hosting in Kelly's place today? Yeah, he wouldn't say much, and what he would say would be very, very, very quiet. Would have to like put the mic like right here. Gotta love mini Java fern, mini trident, but that's a pain in the ass. Crispatula, that's a fun one. That's very narrow too. Variation Cubite, like the Rasbora. Penatifida, no thank you. Areocolon Vietnam. Variegated. Gotta get my water situation. Now, the carpet of high-grow chai underneath, that's pretty nice. Needle leaf Java. Oh, I'm down to 52 minutes ago, so this is going to be a really long scrolling session. I do need to get more high-tech plants, though, because I'm kind of getting light and CO2 dialed in for some of the stuff that I've been neglecting for a little while. And I realized like they all kind of have a lot of plant overlap. I did take some last minute photos for this stream just in case. Let's see. For you to, oh, thank you, Tim. That's exactly what I was looking for. Cryptocore Wintii, and it's a Sripadma Sindor. And it's supposed to have kind of an orange coloration to it. And I think that auction has already passed. But yeah. browsing the end of civilization auctions. Yeah, that. Yeah, but I want it, and I think the auction already passed. I think it was like a week ago, which sucks. But just something to keep on my radar. But I'm gonna forget immediately uh, as soon as the stream ends. All right. I can't get my peace lily to flower. Any tips? Anyone know? Anyone in chat know how to grow and flower peace lilies? That's one that I had for a while, and I was pretty diligent about watering it until I wasn't, and then it was gone because that's what happens with stuff that I have to water. Hence, putting all the plants underwater. It's very helpful. All right. I can pull up Google Photos since I took photos. I can just. I forgot. Yeah, I've already forgotten. Forget before the stream ends. Okay. Pulling up Google Photos. Oh, we can do Pink Flamingo Watch. I used to show 4 photos of the crypt Pink Flamingo because I had 4 of them. I no longer have 4 of them. I've got 3, but they are alive. The one in under the Chihiro's light in the bedroom. That one never bounced back. No earthly idea why. It has the freshest aqua soil, the best light, and tons of CO2, and I think that kind of suggests that these are highly unstable. Let's see. June says, I've had no luck with tissue cultures. Rooted plants seem to have a better chance surviving. Tissue cultures can be tricky because they're like in this state of limbo. They don't know if they're submersed or immersed, and they're also very delicate and sometimes hard to stay down. They're tiny, and so they can get lost in a tank. They can get uprooted over and over and over and over, which is unfortunate. That used to happen to me too. I put tissue cultures in a tank that has a bunch of Aeneas cories or osteogasters or whatever they're called now, and they would uproot them immediately. That crappy Chihiro slate killed it. Yeah, I think so. Scientifically proven. Don't know why he would ever get one of those. I don't know either. Let's see. Zen started with 2 pink flamingos. One died, then the other keeps throwing pups, and now she's up to 7. I still have 3, and I don't even know if you would call them fully pink flamingo crypts yet. They're hanging in there. Let's see. I need to share again. All right, so this one's in the living room. The living room tank has kind of been going through some instability while I'm trying to get things dialed in there too. I replaced the regulator on it. I did a clean out of the canister filter a few months early because it was a little clogged, and should have took a picture. That was pretty rancid. Probably had to do with the fact that I uprooted and moved plants around several times between the last cleaning or the cleaning before that and the most recent one, because yeah, it's very muddy in there. Gets nasty. But it's alive. It is technically a living thing. Still kicking. This is the no CO2 and the 15-gallon under the co-op light. It is shooting new leaves out like at a rate at which the old ones are dying off. It's tiny. Doesn't look super healthy, but again, it is technically alive. Yeah, set it and forget it. It'll make more eventually. I hope so. And then plant farm, this was during the red light panel period, so that's why it's very red, but it's doing the best. probably will be the one that ends up multiplying, and I'm just not going to touch it. I shall leave it be. Seven of you have forgotten the price of admission. The like button. Oh my god. Geek said I put another spike in its place just now. I looked and it's already fanning over another batch of eggs. What do we got breeding here? Peacock gudgeon. Nice. Tormented the breeding peacock gudgeon by evicting him from the watering spikes with their most recent clutch of eggs. How many of them you got now? Like how many fry? Let's see. Beautiful red flame sword, another red plant with broad leaves. The contrast is striking. I do like the red swords while they're small. Let's see. I took some photos and they need to still upload to Google Photos. Why wouldn't they not do that immediately, Google? Let's make it do that. Upload. Do it. No. What's it waiting for me to plug in? Come on. This is really exciting, I know. That's why I don't stream by myself. I'm very self-conscious about the dead air, so I'll just say words while I do things. Words and things. Okay. Let those upload. Geek's got about 20 or 30 fries. Some ended up in the main tank, and he lost some. DJ Guppy Fish Food and Stuff. Food channel. I need to subscribe to that. Like Vibe has got his cabin woods, or I think that's what cabin in the woods. I don't know. Cottage in the cheese. But I'm subscribed to that too. Sal, hello to both of you. Family stream. Man, I'm missing so much chat. Just like looking. Oh, it's because Zen said, I want to touch it. I want to touch it though. Two of the babies are squishing against the front glass, but I'm afraid. You can touch the babies, which is a terrible, terrible thing to take out of context. I wouldn't touch the mother plant though. All right, refresh. All right, we can take a look at some current status planted tanks. Didn't have any time to make them social media friendly, so you get what you get. Don't throw a fit. This is Jenna's tank. Planted tank. I would definitely consider this a low light tank. When I had a par meter that I was borrowing for a while with this what's it called? Higer light. It's about 30 par at the substrate, I would say. Maybe a little lower. And of course, like underneath the wood and stuff, it's like 2 par, 1 par. So yeah, and no CO2, a lot of bulbitis. It's taken years to overgrow and develop through the wood. And then of course Cryptnerii Rosen Maiden, because I gotta have that in like every tank. It's my favorite. Some Java Fern that is so far, fingers crossed, unaffected by horrible disease. Some Anubias and Hygro angustifolia, the Hygro cherry leaf over here on the left, and then a bunch of dwarf sag / not so dwarf sag. Occasionally, one tuft of it wants to be like Val, but I just pull that crap out. And Jenna picked that crypt for the tank. You don't get to have credit for that one. You picked most of the plants in here. And that also the Sukarno sword in the back. That one's taken a couple of years to grow. It's taken off. It's getting pretty damn big. put your scissors in the substrate and hack away. You can't see that you're damaging the mother plant, doesn't count. Oh, she'll see the damage in a few days. Luke said you can move them without separating them. The pink flamingo he's talking about, I assume. Uh, if you're careful and you care enough, wouldn't worry too much though. Yeah, I would like the mother plant for sure. I would leave alone just because I disturb the roots on those things, and it's curtains for it or not. It doesn't really want to follow the rules. Maybe hers are fine now. Maybe they behave like regular WinTI and they're bulletproof. I don't know. But I would not advise touching it because I don't want to be responsible for the death of all those little pink flamingos. Okay, so yeah, just one of the many low tech tanks we got going on in here. Doesn't require a whole lot of maintenance. The plants generally look okay, very slow growing, limited selection, limited coloration because of the lighting, low light, easy peasy. Another plant trash can. This is the tank that I will, in time, eventually, maybe even sometime soon, turn into a salt tank. But for now, it has some CW, what they call it, CW1, or is it C123? I think CW or C123s. I don't know. Who cares? Because you can't fucking see them. They're never in view. They're always hiding. I assume that I still have them. It's also kind of a snail farm. You can see a lot of snails, the remaining gold white clouds, and a random Bosemani fry that we're now starting to notice it's a Bosemani. It's been in there for a long time. June said, "I love the plant mosh pit look." Yeah, I like almost even the high tech tanks here, the high energy tanks, still kind of go with the jungle look. I have trouble keeping plants like separated and well manicured and like a garden, so it's more like a jungle garden. Let's see. Geek said my Ponageton melted back again. The bulb is still on the substrate. Felt it yesterday while doing the water change. Yeah, they're seasonal. And I just moved mine, so it'll probably melt back. I moved it to another tank because it was getting too tall for the 40, and I put it in the 90. See what's going on in chat. June lost her Madagascar lace when she moved it. Crenum's still growing tall. I actually ordered some plants from the co-op this week, yesterday, and I've already forgotten what they are. I know I wanted to try the schismata, whatever that, yeah. And then some spiky moss, just because Candy's like, get some spiky moss. I'm like, okay, I'll do that. I don't know where I'm gonna put it, but it's moss, so I'll put it in somewhere and let it either thrive or instantly gather algae, and I have to throw it away. I'll probably divide it, put it various places. So yeah, just a jungle of plants, just farming the easy stuff for the members. So you're welcome, members. I have a lot of plant farms for y'all. Another plant farm, trash can, longfin paleotis. And then right here, there's like, I don't know, 50 orange Venezuelan babies that hatched a couple of days ago. Decided to raise another batch of those up again if I can. I usually end up losing a good bit of them, but I'm trying to stay on top of feeding them several times a day so that doesn't happen. Yep, riding solo. Kelly's not feeling well. She went on a trip last week hung out with her nephews, and I guess they gave her the sickness, whatever's going around. So she's not here this week, and she is going to be out next week as well. So won't see her for a couple of weeks. Geek said, rub it in that you can hatch them little orange bastards. I thought you were able to hatch them, and then you just weren't able to keep them alive from because of feeding issues, perhaps. Which they're very, 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 very small. Like they're not even standard Cory fry size. They're tiny, so I gotta feed them multiple times a day. And I'm using like the 5 to 50 micron golden pearls as their first foods because they're way too tiny to eat even the co-op fry food. It's crazy. Um, let's see. How's the GBR working? The German blue ram? Oh, the German breeding ring. It works pretty well. Very simple. And it's kind of a bitch to keep clean, the bottom, because the bottom is like that very fine mesh. But I just put a couple of ram's horn snails in there and let them take care of that. So yeah, this is like another plant trash can, plant farm, easy weeds that don't really require my attention at all. And randomly throw stuff in here to float. Some bulbitis, crypnuria, of course, and a lot of Limnophila aquatica, gustifolia, the polysperma sunset, and some random Ludwigia hybrid that I always forget what it's called. But yeah. Juanita says, I woke up to a tank full of dead baby guppies. Aw. And one mama, all dead, did a water change on the tank last night with the spring water, wondering if it was contaminated. Ah, well, that's not good. It's hard to say. I mean, when a guppy dies, it's like, who knows? It could be just an unhealthy guppy. When the guppy and the fry are all dead, that's a tough one. If you test everything that you can test and everything's in check, it's really hard to know. Geek, I'll send you some nuri. I got plenty. I farm the shit out of that. Ditchweeds, yeah, stuff that doesn't care. You can feel like you're good at growing plants because they'll grow in anything. Look, that's sand. Look at them growing in sand. All right, next mosh pit, because mosh pit are fun. Look at all them freaking guppies. Now this is like the ditchiest of ditch weeds. This is the bottom of the barrel easiest plants that you can grow. Anubias, which will just be in stasis mode if it doesn't have enough light and nutrients, and that's a good thing because it doesn't. It just kind of sits there. I think it has grown over the years. It's really hard to tell because it grows so slow. And then tons and tons of guppy grass, anacris, and hygrophila all floating along the top, shading out the Anubias and some Java fern. And the Crypnuria Rosen Maiden, go figure, got it in this tank too. Top 5 reasons on why guppies die video on YouTube. Top 5, number 5, they just like to die. And that's a YouTube video, so it's going to be like, did you check for ammonia? Did you check for nitrites? Is your pH good? And, also the substrate in the mosh pit is just gravel. Yeah, I mean, it's gravel with a layer of very, very old mulm. And what's weird is you would think this would all accumulate mulm and stuff, but no, guppies being detritivores, they pick this clean. Like the surface of the gravel is always spotless, but you can see the disgusting layer of filth accumulated over 5 years of not gravel vacuuming. This is a flower. This is the Aponogeton robinsoni flower. I keep trying to to make more of the Robinson eyes and trying different things, failing. The flower is very, very delicate and it breaks, but then it's been sending off a new flower every single time the other one dies or breaks. So I'm getting tons and tons of chances to do it. I'm a little bit more prepared this time, but it's almost ready for its self-pollination. I have a little dish with some aqua soil, maybe some saran wrap. Maybe I'll charge it with a little bit of easy green in there. Luke said a lot of pollinating plants aren't self-pollinating. This one is supposed to be self-pollinating. Whether it does or doesn't, I don't know. But I really want to try. I really want to make more if I can, because not a common plant. Not like the most impressive looking plant either. Honestly, just some green leaves. But Myrtle sent this to me. It's rare, and definitely want to make some more. And this is the plant farm in its current state. Look at all that CO2. I did a big trimming on it, and I need to repopulate it with more stems. But yeah, pink flamingo there, Robinsoni front and center, so I can always see it. Some other stuff, Blixa japonica, Laganandra, Mebolii red. Let's see. Moose says, has anyone else ever made a breeder box hang on the back like Coro? Just made my first one because I had the parts, and why not? Is that like using those air-driven hang on the side boxes like the Fluval ones and just putting some media in there? That'd be cool. I actually had some hanging off of one tank for a while with I put like a sand bed in there and grew a couple of plants and snails and shrimp and stuff. Oh, Mike, you want to see pics of the saltwater tank? I'll go back to that. No problem. Here it is. Here's my saltwater tank. Doesn't have any salt in it yet, but this is the actual tank that will become the saltwater tank. And intentionally, I haven't done much to it. It's very understocked. There's a few cories in there or whatever they're called. Again, who cares? They don't like to be seen, and so maybe I'll remember to feed them sometimes. And then some white clouds. Yep, extra H2O volume can't hurt. I mean, yeah, but it's moving water through a surface that can grow bacteria. That is a filter. Doesn't take much to make filter. And DIY is fun too. Doesn't have any salt in it yet. That's the only way to do saltwater tanks. Yeah, then you can grow plants in your saltwater tank as long as you don't put the salt in there. Mike said, have you picked out a light for the tank when you go salty yet? So I was asking you about that. I have right now, there's just that cheap Fluval Aqua Sky on it. And I don't plan to do coral, at least not immediately. I kind of want to do macroalgae. So my goal would be a light that would grow macroalgae. If the Aqua Sky can accomplish that, and the Aqua Clear hang on the back can do the filter part of it, and I don't have to get a bunch of other equipment, that would be splendid. It'd also make it very easy to give up on salt and revert back to fresh if I so choose. All right. So yeah, there's flower, there's plant farm, being all plant farmy. This is another another no CO2 injection tank with, kind of the same assortment of plants that I've got everywhere else. And look, Crypnuria Rosen Maiden. And now you can, for scale, you can see how little that pink flamingo is. It's really hanging on there. Let's see. You can see how different plants can look depending on the lighting situation too, and CO2. Like this Ludwigia right here is the same Ludwigia as the one right there, bright red, very different. Let's see. Ekin says aqua sky should macroalgae just fine. Good, good. I like that. People use Twin Star and Chihiro's lights on macroalgae. See, I don't want to do that. I don't want to like go all in with equipment on something that I'm going to be brand new and may fail at or like kind of struggle with. And then it's kind of embarrassing when you've got really high end equipment, but everything else around it looks like garbage. Hey, Rebecca. Saw her pop in there. The macro lady. Wait, what did Jenna say? We may have gotten a salty sponsor to donate a gift card to the Clash, and they sell and ship seahorses. Nice. And this is some boost in a bowl, being all boosty. This is probably my highest tech tank, just because I mean, it's low light because it's boost, but the CO2 injection rate is unsafe for all animals right now. And I'm just using straight RO water with a little bit of calcium sulfate, potassium sulfate, and magnesium sulfate for the minerals. Steve is right here, the top. I guess. I think that's what it was. I can rename it. Call something else Steve. Like this one, call it blue, because right now at this angle it's blue. Rebecca's got boosts in loads of terrariums. Yeah, that's where it prefers to be. It prefers to be humid and out of the water, so it has all the CO2. And I'm going to waterboard it like I do all the plants. This is the living room CO2 injected tank, trying to get that cleaned up and dialed in. And this is the tank that really made me realize I need to get some more high-tech plants, because a lot of the same stuff in here that I have in other tanks, and want to branch out. What's this? Pogostemon, the Dasin. Lixa japonica is doing really well in here. This, oh, damn it. Oh, Ariel Collin little piece. It's looking sad. And then this is alternate there. Mike, you got to remember what this is. I keep forgetting what it is. Bunch of other stuff, and lots of Malaysian trumpet snails in here too, and Kamaka rainbows. This is another bedroom tank. I think if I'm going to do one that is solidly the high-tech RO water, Ariel Collin, Tonina, all the hard crap to grow tank, it might be this one. Still trying to figure out what I want to grow in this tank full time. But the Dacin's doing really well in this tank. Terrarium Boost never had iridescence as nice as Submerse, though. Poo. Yeah, poo. Poo indeed. Still have Skeleton King and no CO2. It's slow but alive. I have a few in no CO2, but I really like putting Boost in CO2. because then I can increase the horde a lot faster. Let's see. Some Crocland, Dedagang, Rosemary, Belinda, and Brownies. Those sound like plausible names for boosts. Papagenblatt. AR pain in the butt. Alternate Thera Papagenblatt. I've already forgotten. Boosts used to be rare here and uber money. And there's still some that sell inexplicably for a lot of money, like what's it called? Brownie Ghost 2011 or something like that. I feel like it looks different every time I see it. Steenfot was trying to comment and can't in the chat. I don't know if there's an issue, but if you can check midstream. Has Steenfot been banned? Hold on. Maybe I got mad at Bob and just like went on a drunken banning rampage. All right. YouTube Studio. Swear to God, this is user error on Bob's part. Maybe YouTube gave him a universal shadow ban. Community. Moderators. Hidden users. All right. Nope. Nope. You are not banned. Figure it out, Bob. You seen Jenna around late? No, I just scrolled through it and it's just it's bots. That's and no names in there that are of the Steenfot variety. Okay. Mickey's Aquariums. That's a new name, I think. Welcome. New people. 15 pounds for boosts in the UK. Yeah. I feel like I keep looking over and I'm missing comments. Sorry, Jen. I feel like certain boosts is really expensive because it's perceived as rare. But then if someone like me were getting rid of all my boosts, I see people that are just selling big baskets of it that are not identified. And that's where you can get a good deal. There are people like me who don't know what they have. So that's when, if I'm going to buy boost, that's what I'm going to do is if I just need to increase the horde, just buy someone's random stuff. Somebody's blasting their music really loud outside. And dancing. None of the tags on the StreamYard side turn orange for me. So, sorry. I've probably missed many things. If there was a question, I don't have the organization skills and mental capacity to go back and chat. So ask again. Por favor. I should also have YouTube open. I could do that. I mean, I do, but I'm not looking at it. Trying to figure out why we got Bob shadow banned from this stream. All right. Pop out. Yeah, lots and lots of emojis and all caps would be very helpful if you need to get my attention urgently. Sorted boosts is the best way to go. I like the random variation in textures and colors. Yeah, for sure. Just I can't identify it. And unless Unless we start getting actual species identifications on these, and I don't see the need in identifying what someone called it when I bought it, because that's essentially all you're doing is figuring out what it was called. I used to buy a lot of it from buypetshrimp.com, Eric Lucas, and I would Google the names that he had on his site, and they would only point back to his site. And that was kind of the point where I was like, fuck it. I'm not going to remember these names. I'm not going to try. Just going to combine the little ones, put them in little tanks, and the big ones and put them in big tanks. And the dead ones, put them in the back corner of a trash can tank and see if they come back. Anubius, the three-leaf species with maturity. Forget the name for that. Don't know. Hi, Jeff Kane. See the combination of emojis and all caps. I couldn't help but to notice it. I just realized I've had this comment about the breeder box pinned this entire time, and we have definitely answered that. Where was I? Oh, I was showing pictures of plants and hoping that I don't scroll so far that something horrible shows up. Yeah, that was it. That was all the photos I had time to take. So yeah, I can start looking at chat again. Need flowers to get my attention. Ekan said, I would say I'm starting to see more aquarium cultured boosts than wild stuff. I think that's been bringing some of the prices down. Yeah, and I like to know that the boost is legal and not just jacked from the wild. Because I don't think that that illegal boost is very well identified either. I think it's just, well, good God. Sun canister filter thoughts. I've never used one. I've heard this thing flooded my fish room immediately, and I've had one running for X thousand million years, and they've been fantastic, which I think is the narrative for about every single aquarium product on the market. There's good and bad. I don't think I would buy one though. All I have are Fluval canister filters, and so I could just say Fluval is the best because I have no experience with other brands, which people do that, but it has a Fluval canister filter. It has a basket and another basket and additional baskets and a pump with an impeller and some hoses. And I think you'll find that most filters, they have things inside them and they move water across those things, and then bacteria grows on those things. And we have extremely inexplicably emotionally charged debates over which thing that moves water over things is the best. And I haven't reached a conclusion yet. So far, all the things that move water over things have worked out really well for me. Rebecca says my fluvals are in a dump somewhere, as all had massive issues. Ugh. See, there we go. But then, yeah, Eheim lasts, but you pay for quality. I mean, Eheim has been in the game for a very long time. My first experience with Eheim was actually water cooling my computer. Like, bought aquarium and pond parts to install water cooling. That was like 2004 or something like that. Let's see. Branton's had 2 Eheim canisters going on 10 years. No issue. I'm sold. Yeah, if they work, they work. Is there any reason not to use a ball valve to control flow on a canister filter? Isn't, well, trying to think. The instructions, so like a lot of them, you will close the input and output at the same time to control flow. I think the issue is whether or not the motor will be strained by restricting flow. I think it's all in the motor and how much you restrict flow. Like the instructions for the FX6 tell you to, if you want to restrict the flow, you close the output. It doesn't say close the input. Don't know why. That's just what the instructions say. People do it differently though. And it says you can restrict the flow up to 50% without harming the motor. I don't know what dictates how much you can restrict flow without harming the motor. I'm pretty sure anytime, even just adding media to the canister filter is sort of harming the motor. Like it's doing something to the motor. Just is it significant? Are you going to notice it? Is the life of the motor going to be shortened to a point that you can determine that such and such killed your motor? Yeah. I wish more canisters were using controllable DC pumps. Yeah. Yep. I think that would be the best thing to do, is have the ability to undervolt the pump itself, and then you wouldn't have to worry about all the other variables. Geek Boy, 15 years and counting on the 2 Fluval 306s, 1 impeller replacement in each. Nice. Yeah, I'm hoping that my canister filters last a long time. That would be a very annoying thing to have to replace. Okay, there was a question from Cryptkeep. Tim, this is not formatted correctly. I see no emojis and I only see proper capitalization. But I found it. Am I entering that beautiful crypt behind me into the plant category at the Clash? That crypt stays. It ain't going anywhere. It would look like crap by the time I got it to the Clash. Like it looks the best when it's in place and growing and thriving. And you take a crypt out of the tank and put it in their random temperature tank, and hopefully it doesn't start to look like shit by the time they get to judging it. And last year I judged the plants for the plant competition, so I don't know if I'm gonna be doing that again. I don't think I'm entering anything. I don't know. I every year I say I don't enter something, and then at the Clash I'm like, I should have entered this and this and this. Oh, I would have won this, and then I'm determined to enter something, and we're about a month out from the Clash, and I don't even want to bother. I just don't feel like it. What is the best inflow and outflow setup for canister if the goal is an increase of CO2 down lower in the 75-gallon tank? Well, if we're talking about the like CO2 diffusion, you would want to use a reactor on the outflow of it. People do have a diffuser like in the intake, like suck up the bubbles into the canister. I've not tried that. It seems like it would be an efficient way to go. I've heard of people putting it in their hang on the back too. Seems like that would be efficient. I mean, the goal with CO2 is you want the diffusion to happen either low in the tank or in the canister, in the outflow of the canister, and have as much time suspended in the water column to dissolve. So usually that means like a lot of flow. Thanks, Vibes. Thanks for the super chat. And I didn't fill out the volunteer form and offer to judge anything. I thought you filled out the volunteer form on my behalf, and I'll just figure out what I'm doing when I get there, and then either do it or not do it. Rebecca said, I think a lot of people also see media only by surface area, but forget nitrifying bacteria need that oxygen and nutrients. Indeed. They need the flow. King of DIY did media solid ceramic blocks at one point, and if water does anything, it bypasses massive blocks. Yeah, I I haven't tried to do anything innovative with filtration because I've never had an issue. I've never had a tank set up where I'm like, I don't think there's enough nitrification going on in this tank. I need to up the biological filtration. Like I have water moving through sponges, and I have literally never needed anything beyond that. And of course, the plants are helping a lot, not just from absorbing nutrients, but having bacteria grow on those as well. Like I've all my tanks are kind of set up with the same principle of how much flow can I put in there without taking the fish on a wild ride and sucking them through the intake and creating a monsoon in the tank. And then, very basic mechanical slash biological filtration in one. Um, and let's see, she said, I think filtration is generally already set. The only thing that varies is the order of sponges versus other media, depending on what you keep. Yeah, and I used to be all about like water polishing. I wanted to put polyfill and the polishing pads. They even had some that like are 100 micron polishers, and thinking like I want the fish to be swimming on air, but that's kind of a pain because that stuff gets disgusting really quickly, and I don't maintain my filters as often as I should. Only when I notice a lack of water coming out of them, and I'm like, oh well, they're absolutely not doing their job now. So I guess I have to do something about that. All right, Tim said, with putting the spray bar, like the broken heart emoji, putting the spray bar at substrate level and using surface skimmer be better. Currently, sprayer up high and intake tube at substrate, CO2 atomizer on the intake. I can't say that it wouldn't help or would. That's an unconventional way to do it that I don't think that I would bother with, but I'm not going to stop you from trying. If you're having issues with CO2, it could just be a matter of you're not opening up the needle valve enough. Like you're not pushing enough CO2. Sometimes it takes more than you think. If your water, like if your KH is anything like mine or higher, like if you're looking at mine KH is 6 degrees, injecting through an inline diffuser in my 40-gallon tank in the living room, the bubble count is almost indiscernible. And I think Zen also said the same thing with hers. It takes a lot of CO2, and you just need to monitor your pH and make sure that your the CO2 levels are in check. Also look at your fish. Most importantly is making sure that your fish are not gasping at the surface. But yeah, sometimes you think you're putting a lot of CO2 in there, but if you have like the diffusion set up, you've got good flow, and it's not still seeming like not enough, you just got to crank it up. And sometimes it's scary, but so you want to do that like when you're paying attention, when you have time to babysit the tank all day and test things. Let's see, what did Luke say? I've got my spray bar going vertically at the front left, blowing across the front of the tank. Interesting. I haven't thought about that. I do have one where the spray bar is on the left and blowing right. I haven't really seen a difference in the inline diffusers in terms of like needing more CO2 in some arrangement versus others. The only ones that I definitively need to inject a significantly higher amount of CO2 is when I have an in-tank diffuser. Sponge filters in the style setup definitely wouldn't work for what I keep. Oh yeah. And like I do not use a lot of sponge filters, Rebecca. Most of my sponge filters are in tanks as sort of like a redundancy. They're on battery backup air pumps, just in case the power goes out. There's still something moving the water. There's still beneficial bacteria, but my primary filtration are how many canisters do I have? 1, 2, 3, 4 canister filters, a ton of hang on the backs, and then like those in tank systems like in the Fluval Flex that are just 3 chambers and a pump. Um, Canisters are epic. Yeah, canisters are there's a division with canisters because they can be out of sight, out of mind, and I know that's the case for me. I've got one in a cabinet, and I clean it once a year whenever it's like screaming at me and begging to be clean. But I do like canisters because you can put a lot of media in there. You can get a lot of flow out of it, and they are good at diffusing CO2. Um, and they're also aesthetically, I like them for scapes because you don't have a lot of plumbing and crap that's going like deep into the tank. You kind of have the intake tucked off to the side, and you can do a spray bar at the top and really distribute the flow. But then there's the sump, which is one filtration that I haven't tried yet, but one day. And sumps sort of like sumps are kind of the ultimate in customizability. You can customize how much flow, how much media, a lot of extra water volume. You can use them as refugiums, grow some plants down there. But I was too new when I built the stand for this tank behind me to understand the greatness that is sumps. But yeah, I think next big tank I do will probably try to do a sump. If you ain't using a sand pull filter, it's child's play. Let's see. Pumps don't like reduced flow. It can cause overheating and things. Closing the input more than the output can lead to cavitation. Yeah, that's why they tell you to on the Fluval FX6 is just close the output, and it even says like up to 50% without risking the motor. But I don't think I have restricted flow on any of my canisters. I put spray bars on them and just let them go. What is Jenna asking? Is there anything you would be interested in looking to buy at the Clash and bring home that you can't get in the UK? Oh, stuff to smuggle back into another country. Great influence. Dry goods, maybe plants and fishes can't take. Well, not with that attitude. Modern HOBs want to test out. Yeah, I want to buy the new Fluval Aqua Clear just to have it because it's new and apparently they've solved problems. And I had one Aqua Clear, the old one, burn out on me before because there was a power outage, and anytime the power goes back on, it's kind of part of my routine. I got to make the rounds with the pencil or the chopstick, and poke the impeller on at least half of them, and then I forgot one, and so for however many days it was the motor, like the impeller was seized up and the motor was on, and then eventually the impeller shaft, little metal piece, just kind of melts itself off. And I don't think there's not a way that I want to have the patience to fix that. But I replaced it with another Aqua Clear. This is very public. I like to keep to legislation. Got it. Understood. Yeah. Definitely good policy. Geek is testing a cheap hang on the back and one of his 14-gallon cubes. Kind of like it so far. Best to avoid any invasive species. Focused on dry goods. Yeah. I'm curious when you look around, like what you see that's just not common in the UK that for us is just like, well, of course we have at least several tanks doing such and such or running this. Pond Guru says input and output on end of tank next to each other. Your thoughts? Oh, like have the input and output close together? I mean, I don't know. I don't know if it matters that much because I've heard it other ways too. So if someone has like a logical reason for doing it one way or the other, most of the time I will have input and output on one side or a spray bar or something just to kind of consolidate the equipment that's in the tank, um, and not have like plumbing stuff across the tank. Just that's just for aesthetics. Never is an issue. But of course, with a spray bar, the output is just across the whole tank, so it doesn't seem to matter too much. North Fin Unseen, New Life Spectrum, and many more diets, even extreme. Okay. Yeah. Yeah. Different food brands. HOBs are unknown. That that to me is strange. Whenever I was new to the hobby, I thought that hang on the back filters were like the filter, and that canisters were just like an advanced version of hang on the backs. I didn't know what a sponge filter was, didn't know what undergravel filter was, because all of those Walmart kits have the hang on the back with the little cartridge system with the built-in carbon. And I'm like, well, that's how tanks are filtered, right? And Luke is asking, is it easier to bring things in from the EU? I assume they've got as good or better selection in fish compared to us anyway. Good question. Rebecca said aqua clears existed in the 80s, then died off. Internals are the norm in the UK. And okay. Like the powered internal filters or the air driven little box filters. Maybe why undergravel still existed for ages. And Rebecca's not in the EU, so even more difficult to know. Ah, well, sorry, Luke. Shady Grady said they sell replacement impeller shafts on Amazon, or you can buy a dowel pin the correct diameter. It takes 2 minutes to replace with no tools. Really? Didn't seem like it would be that easy. But oh well. Too late. I've only ever had to replace one of those aqua clears. I was gonna buy like the whole motor housing, but it was like the same price as the filter on Amazon. So yeah. That Geek has a link to the one he's testing now. Let's pull that up. Oh, that's a weird looking thing. 3 grids, fish tank filter box, black acrylic hang on back aquarium filter, 3-in-1 oxygenated wall mounted water purifier with waterfall aquarium accessory. That is the most Amazon product title ever. 3 grids. There's grid 1, grid 2, grid 3. This is like more like 3.5 grids. This little bitty pump. What is? Oh, it's like I need a I need a banana for scale. I don't know how big this thing is. I don't know if that's a tiny hand or not. Filtrate, cultivation, oxygenation. Very scientific. It's like an overhead sump type thing. Yeah. Interesting. Put your little filter pad there. Put your rocks in that one. Put unknown substance there. That's cool. And then like stock the ever living shit out of a tiny tank with goldfish. Just I don't know, 1, 2, 3, 4, 7 goldfish. And there you go. That's neat. Keep us updated on how that goes. Mostly if like the pump continues to work properly. Gotta love the overstock display tank though on these products. Okay, back to chat. Oh, it's 5:06. I'm getting kind of hungry. Say Rebecca said, I think seeing people throw a tantrum about China for sale here. They are illegal in the U.S., not here. Isn't that funny? People see a thing on social media and they just want to repeat the crap out of it and misapply it everywhere. As a super filter than to house the goldfish. Mm-hmm. Shady Grady says if you use very fine sand like I do in my tanks, it literally sands down the diameter of the impeller shaft and the motor gets noisy. Yeah, send it to me, Shady Grady, just in case, because sometimes I neglect to do the filter chopstick restart and things get burnt. It's like people think that is what the internet is made for or something. To copy and paste and misapply misapply information. And they say sponge filters take up space in a tank. Holy crap. Yeah. Well, I mean it's out of the tank at least. It's an interesting design, but I guess again it's like you can design a filter and have it move water through some stuff that has allows water to move through it, keep it oxygenated, grow bacteria on it. Um, and yeah, a lot of filters work. YouTube is all the social media I can handle. God, yeah, me too. I like I don't know what came over me, but the other day on I was on Facebook and there was a post in the aquarium co-op group, and it was just a post about water changes. Someone who was saying that they haven't changed their water and was asking like, am I missing something? Is there a reason I should change the water? I spent a good bit of time typing out a pretty long response, like a significant chunk of time devoted to replying to something on Facebook. And it was very balanced. I wasn't just saying like, no, you should change your water. How could you? It was just like, here are some reasons that you might want to if you are looking for reasons to do so and things are not looking so great in your tanks. And there was probably like 50 to 60 replies. And then I was getting responses back to it that I was going to go check on and respond to them. And then poof, deleted. Like a very, what I thought was a pretty mature discussion was deleted, and that's really disappointing. Like I imagine that a moderator had a reason to delete it, like maybe something went south and it just had to go, or I don't know. But it's frustrating because of all the crap that you come across on these Facebook groups, that didn't seem like something worthy of being deleted. Maybe pruned, you know, some of the bad faith comments. And I understand it's a busy group, but yeah, just seems like a little bit more attention could be paid to like the quality of information instead of like, you know, what do they call it? Throwing out the baby with the bathwater. Typing out a message on Facebook. Now we know just how masochistic. Yeah, yeah, I don't normally do that, and that sure as hell discouraged me from doing it again. I could have handled any responses that were just like emotionally charged over water change routines because that's just how people are. But for it to for it to be deleted is disappointing. And just imagine like how many decent discussions that might have been derailed by one or two bad actors just completely left the internet for anyone to go back and reread and learn something from. Koro said, how many minutes and how many linked sources would you consider reasonable on an internet comment before you've reached the point where it's self-flagellation? I mean, it depends on what it's about. You know, not everything, like site sources, if you've got them, especially if you're introducing a new concept to someone, or like there's recent studies, or this information is like something in a specific study that you read, please do cite the source. I don't think every discussion needs to just be full of citations, only when they're relevant, and always when they're relevant. Like, use them judiciously, because there's a point where if you're responding to a comment, you're going to lose somebody. Like, just their eyes are going to glaze over. They're not going to go and look at the sources and verify. But, citing is important. I just don't, like, for this, there is no source that's going to definitively prove doing water changes in that person's aquarium is important. So, but I don't know. I don't know. That's one frustrating thing about Facebook versus even forums too. Like, it's hard enough to even find old archived information on Facebook and look at old discussions. Deleting them certainly doesn't help. Geek said, of course I'm going to throw the baby out. People should know better than to leave their spawn in my bathwater. Fran said, walked inside from collecting mosquito larvae. If y'all missed it yesterday, Outside In and Branton Lightcap on Outside In's channel, they went live, and we saw Mr. Lightcap on a stream for the first time, at least the first time I've seen him on a stream. So worth catching the replay of that one. Man, it is hot. Freaking 92 degrees. And I'm floundering up here. The chat's come to a standstill, and I can't rely on myself to just say things. Do I have other pictures to show? If not, I think I'm gonna just end this stream in the misery. Do we ever figure out if Bob Steenfot has been just banned from YouTube for being too controversial, or what? Why he can't comment here? Because I checked. It's not it is not on my end. Checking again, just in case. I don't think so. The Office, thank you for the 27 Swedish krona. I think that's what they are. Appreciate it very much. But we're not done watching the fish. Oh, Tim has sent me a message. Let's see. Where did my Facebook window go? Actually, hotter here than where you are. Extreme heat advisory. Oof. Yeah, it's actually only in the low 90s, which is why I ordered some plants this week. And probably I'll ship some plants out to members as well. Wait. Crypt Keeper, you sent me a message. When? I just see the I just see the crypt one. Yeah. Oh, you sent me a link to it. Yeah, the Winti Sindor. Is it in stock on Boost Plant? It is. I want it. I'm gonna get it. Don't order it before the stream ends, people. I'm gonna get it. Your reminder. Thank you. Something from Oh, Jenna sent me a message that said, Bob just said he can't talk in y'all's stream for some reason. Anyway, Jenna can check what's going on to make sure he didn't get hidden somehow. I don't know what to tell you, Bob. You're banned. I didn't do it. What is the longest someone's waited to receive an order from Crayfish Empire? Nathan is asking. I don't know. I mean, I've got my orders in due time, but I know sometimes there's a delay if Grant's got to make like a new batch of stuff or what. So not sure. Asking about what's the fish? Yeah, Melanitania picter, the big ones, some Bosemani, and um, then the Kalitawas, Taiwa, Kelly, Taiwa. Brandon patiently waiting for plants to arrive at your doorstep. We'll check your weather compared to our weather, and we'll see if I can ship some to you without shipping you some disgusting putrid plant stew. What else is it? And there's the Papui rainbows are in here, a few of those, and then the black ruby barbs, and there's some dwarf red tail eels, a couple of those hiding amongst the plants. Talking about the Sindor, yeah, I'll pull that up so y'all can. Thank you, Kelly. Get well soon. For the love of God, please get well soon. My co-host ain't saying shit. She's just totally silent up here. All right. I want to. Is there a picture of it like grown up and not just in a tissue culture? I just want to know, does it stay orange? I feel like they're trying kind of hard to make it look orange. Be very disappointed if it's just another basic ass Winti, or if it does pink things like dye. What else they got? Let's go shop. What do I want anyway? I want stuff that requires CO2 injection. Maybe some stuff that's a pain in the ass. Like do they sell Toninas here? They do. What gets me about this plant though is it requires basically 0 degrees KH to grow. And I don't feel like aesthetically it's earned that demand. It's kind of a basic looking plant. So naturally I'm going to get it because collectoritis. Kelly said, I'll see you in 2 weeks. Well, where are you going next week, Kelly? Is it a place where you can get sick again? One of everything I don't have yet. Wait, why did I click on Boost? I don't want to look at Boost. Stem plants. Oh no, how about just tissue cultures? Cryptocorum mioia, Nanlucens parva, Winti brown, Magdalenins. No, no, don't need any more alternate theras. Rotala colorata. No. Anubias nana Snow White. For people who hate chlorophyll, try Anubias nana Snow White. It's very yellow. The Cincinnati Zoo. Please do not get some sort of animal born spread zoonotic. Is that what it's called? Zoonotic illness? Or, there's also a lot of people at the zoo. I guess that's a risk too. Some toninas look a lot like Elodia. Yeah, like what the hell? Hydrocotyle, yeah. Has a lot of boost tissue cultures on boost plant. Go figure. Ferruginea cicadualensis crypt. I think I tried that one and killed it. Could try it again. Pink flamingo. What I don't like about boost plants photos is you click on a tissue culture and literally all you see are the damn tissue culture plants. Like you don't see it in its final form. You're buying a sword and you're like, oh, look at this little nano sword. It's a little tiny, adorable little sword. Height 4 to 12 inches, which is probably still under. I don't know. Does it stay purple? Purple's good. Back to chat. What we got? Zoo stuff. I like animals, but zoos have people. Also, the Baton Rouge Zoo is I haven't been in a while, but it's kind of a depressing zoo. Okay. Stem plants. Care difficult. There we go. There we go. Frustrating plants only. Rotala macrandra mini pink. That looks like it's ready to die. Rotala narrowleaf. Kabamba pihiensis. Meh. Amania senegalensis. Oh yeah, that's another one I ordered from the co-op is the Amania gracilis. Never tried it. Or maybe I did, but it was like years ago. Rotala rotundifolia platinum. Is that like another white leaf? Geek says zoos are depressing watching the animal pace back and forth in pens that are not suited to them. Yeah, there should definitely be higher standards for zoos. I know the Audubon Zoo in New Orleans is pretty good. Again, it's been a long time since I've been there, so don't know if it's been on the decline. Alternate there, variegatus, Ludwigia pink. Their photo doesn't look very pink. Ludwigia inclinata, I've done that one before, and as soon as you shade it for 10 seconds, it dies. Oh, this is the chai one. I don't want that. Damn, that's expensive for a tissue culture. $50 for the Hygrophila chai. I might try the Araguaia again, not the chai version. I think you can get the Araguaia tissue culture for like $15 instead of 50. Good God. For something I would definitely get bored with trying to baby and kill. Meh. Nothing really catching my attention here. No, Whizzle says bad news on my side. I got to cancel the Keystone Clash. I'm willing to give my ticket away. Why? Why, Whizzle? That sucks. Yeah. Luke said I can send you probably half of your cart if you prefer. Well, I prefer. I still got to look at your updated spreadsheet to see if I have anything that you don't have for the member plants. Money issues, issues with the job. Jobs are really, really inconvenient. They really do get in the way of doing anything fun. Okay. I'm gonna go eat and stuff. So who is streaming coming up? Let's check the Fishfam links. Currently live, we have me, we got Corvus, we got Lottie's Nature, and upcoming we've got a members only stream for Steenfot, and then in about half an hour we've got Case of the Mondays, Baby River, and Fish Room update. Then we got Ed doing D&D. We got the public stream for Steenfot, Garden Veter. And then that's tomorrow is the master debate. Common names versus scientific names. 3 idiots talk aquariums. So choices and stuff. But for now, I'm going to say good day, sirs and madams. And see y'all in the chats and later this week on McStreamy. Bye.